welcome back to another video. If you remember from our last video, we're in the middle of getting our roof replaced. So for the first 2 weeks of this job, I had moved out of the house with Santi because it was just too dusty. During those weeks, the builders were removing the old roof, which produced a lot of dust and rubble, and they then began to add the insulation and seal everything back in again with a layer of OSB, and then onto that layer they then began laying the roof tiles. In the middle of the work, we had a crazy windstorm which stopped work for a few days and destroyed our bell tent and a bunch of other stuff. When the wind died down, we had a lot of tidying up and fixing to do, and we took the opportunity to try and get on top of some of the chaos around the house because it was really just starting to bring us down, feeling like we were living amongst so much mess and rubbish all the time. As you can see here, our agricultural water had also mysteriously stopped flowing, which made it easier to clean out some of the channels whilst they were dry, but it was a problem we had to go and investigate and try to fix. We're going to try and fix the water today, again. We have had to fix our water so many times, and usually the issue is just the underground pipes getting blocked with mud and sediment. Once again, this seemed to be the case, and we were able to dislodge enough dirt with a long plastic pipe to get the water flowing again for now. Meanwhile, while all this was going on, I was staying in a very lovely holiday cottage lent to us by a friend, but once the roof was covered in wood again, I was able to move back home. It was surprising how much mess I managed to create in the holiday cottage by being there for 2 weeks with a baby, so the first job was to tidy everything up and try and leave it how I found it. Okay, Pumpkin, thank you for waiting so patiently. Thank you for waiting so patiently. There we go, that's everything ready to go. Crazy how much stuff you need to take back and forth with you when you have a baby. Oh look, here comes Daddy, come to pick us up.
Hello.
Hello, don't come in there, don't come in here with those crumbs. Stay out there.
Having a good day?
Having a great day. Are you having a good day?
It's really nice out.
It's hot.
I think this kind of weather puts me in a good mood. It's just fresh, cold air, blue sky. It's just really beautiful.
Back at home, the first thing we needed to do was finish sealing the boards in our bedroom, which we'd started a couple of weeks ago. So we've got our 8 additional tubes of sealant, and we're going to crack on sealing between all the gaps in the roof. I also painted around our new window. Someone told me in one of my last videos to store my used paintbrushes in the freezer in between uses, and thank you, it seems to be working really well so far. We also cemented in around the stovepipe and finished off tiling the few remaining areas which we'd had to leave when we did the majority of the floor over a month ago. Finally, we were ready to start putting the bedroom back together again, hopefully for the last time.
I'm also taking the chance to do the transition from summer clothing to winter clothing. This is my pile of short sleeve shirts.
Are you doing your capsule wardrobe?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, work was continuing on the roof.
They started laying the tiles on the other side of the roof. They also made a ladder with some chicken wire, so they can work because the wood is very slippery.
On the other side of the roof, they demolished the chimney. We were so happy to see it go because it was a badly done addition to the original roof and it was super leaky and also just really ugly. Especially the chimney topper, which I'd added on the previous winter to try and keep some of the rain out.
Mal, does it look really ugly from where you are?
However, we did soon encounter a problem, and that was that we were running out of tiles to finish the roof. The thing about these roof tiles is that we want to reuse the ones that we've already got. A lot of them are still in good condition, some of them not, but we want to preserve the old antique style of the roof and not just buy a complete set of new tiles, also for cost because tiles are quite expensive. So what the builders have been doing is sorting out the good ones from the bad ones, and we've actually got a lot of spare ones that can be used to replace any of the bad ones if we fall short on numbers. Here's a few that we've collected. There were a couple of piles in the ruin which the year before last I moved into the garden and used to border a bunch of the garden beds, while Mauro has been to retrieve them from the garden, and any that are still good will go into our pile of spares that we can use on the roof. It's also not unusual to see randomly in abandoned buildings or by the side of old abandoned farms or just around and about piles of these tiles that are probably not being used. Maybe belong to someone, maybe don't, maybe had a purpose in mind, maybe are up for grabs. So we've located one of these piles which looks particularly fruitful, and we've been reaching out to try and find who it might belong to. So we didn't manage to get the tiles we were originally looking at, but we have found another source. We're just going to get them now. Did you bring a mate with you?
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Can you go anywhere without a mate?
Here we go.
Up here?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Okay, it wasn't
that was
so bad.
right.
Woo! You right there, Sandy? Wow, amazing view.
All right, let's get down to business.
Where are the tiles?
What?
Where are the tiles?
Right.
These ones, just these ones on the edge. Okay, yeah, it's more than it looks like. This has really been the perfect time for Santi to decide he wanted a really long nap in the car seat.
We have 48 in the car. We have almost 60. The tiles in the wood aren't making a very suspicious noise, and I'm really afraid that they're gonna all break. The builders were telling me that the tiles that we have are handmade by people, that they mold them on the legs, so they like lie them here, and the shape that you see is just like the shape of someone's thigh.
That's not how they make tiles these days, right?
Yeah, no. The other kind that we have that look rustic, but they're factory made, and you can tell because they're all like very straight and perfect.
Here we are, we've come back again to get more tiles.
We are hoping for another 60. Well, we're hoping for 200, but I know there's not 200.
I actually think there is another 140 here.
There isn't.
I think there is. I'm not sure if we mentioned this before, but we do have permission to take these tiles. We're done, second trip successful. How many did we get, Mau?
I think 60 something really good ones, and then 20 plus of like slightly chipped ones that we can maybe reuse. So really successful, more than I thought we would get today.
And you were right. Let's go. Come Tops, in. In the end, since we didn't get the 200 tiles we needed from the first ruin, we had to find somewhere else to pillage. This final trip gave us the remaining tiles we needed to finish the job. Drive safe.
Yeah, it's. I wish I had a 4x4. It's a bit scary.
So this place that we just got tiles from is literally so close that me and Santi came walking and Mauro came with the car like on the outside. Our farm is on one edge of like a stream, a seasonal stream, so I just crossed the stream walking and Mauro had to go to the road and come all the way around, but it's super close. But yeah, this place we also got permission from the owner to take a few tiles. They weren't bothered about it, and actually this piece of land is one of the 2 pieces of land that we're thinking about buying, so that's why we had the contact details of the owner, and we've already been talking to them about that. And let me show you this place in a little bit more detail. So this particular plot of land is about 1 acre and it's just over the other side of the seasonal stream. You can see our ruin on the other side here. It's split into 2 levels, just a very low terrace wall between the 2 levels. And then on the south side of the plot is the stone ruin, which we think is really interesting because it would just need a new roof really, and then we'd be able to use it almost immediately as an animal shelter. On the top terrace there is a water deposit. Maybe it was originally designed to collect rainwater, or maybe from the roof of the building, I'm not sure. But right now it's dry and it never fills. But you can see how it's connected to the old channels, which would have directed the water out of the deposit and into the fields. The owners of this plot actually used to use it to grow alfalfa and hay to feed their animals. I'll show you more of this plot in another video, and I'll also show you the other land that we have in mind when we've got a bit more information. But for now, it's something we're really excited about, and we really hope we can move forward with it soon. Finally, after a pretty disruptive 4 weeks, the job was done, and it was time to pack up and say goodbye to the builders. We were really happy with how the roof turned out, and we loved that we were able to keep the traditional look. The builders cleaned up all the old tiles we found, including many from our own roof, and they look almost as good as new. We're also really happy with how the stovepipe looks coming straight out of the roof. Okay, let's go see how it turned out. Ooh.
Nice.
And here's the finished roof.
See how they did this? They did this today.
The best thing about this work being finished is that I can finally get my yoga and workout space back, which has been covered in building equipment for the last month. They've actually left it pretty clean, which is really nice.
Yeah, the builders are great. Like, I would definitely hire them again for other jobs.
Are you happy we got it done?
Yeah, obviously. Like, it was the most the scariest part of the house was the water leaks. So this house is officially livable.
After 3 years.
After 3 years, we managed.
Woo, bring on winter. Shall we say goodbye? Bye. Good morning. I just thought I would finish this video. Ooh, that's better. Just thought I would finish this video with a brief explanation of where we've been, because it's been a while. It's been about a month. I'm currently not in Spain, I'm in the UK, and I've been here for a couple of weeks, so that partly explains where we've been. And before that, it's nothing very exciting, I'm afraid, so if you stuck around till the end of this video expecting something a bit more exciting, sorry, but yeah, it's just very mundane stuff that's kept us away from YouTube and away from video making. We finished off our roof, that got finished, and then after that we basically had 2 weeks of appointments like every day for Santi. Nothing wrong, but just, you know, like when he was in the hospital there were lots of teams and people obviously involved in looking after him. And then when you get out of the hospital, all those different teams and people want to follow up with him and follow out what's going on, and they all do it separately, so you end up with a million different appointments in different departments following up on all that different stuff. And every time we go to one of these, it's either in the big city, Valencia, or in Castellón. Either way, it's basically a whole day. So yeah, there were just like 2 weeks where we did absolutely nothing apart from go out to appointments. We didn't do anything on the house, and yeah, the last you saw of us was when we were getting our roof finished, and that was over a month ago now. So there we are, and here we are. Okay, the battery died, if you can tell. Different camera. It's my phone. But there's no way I'm going back to charge it and try and do this again, because I just got Santi off into a nice deep sleep so I could come out and do this and do a little bit of Christmas shopping. Very small bit of Christmas shopping. But yeah, where was I? Thank you for being patient with us, and I'm really happy to be back making videos again. At least I hope I am. Because I have missed it. I've been making videos all this year, even when we've had a lot on our plates, and it's been sometimes a challenge to do it, but I did it because I wanted to and because I found making the videos just, I don't know, kept at least some sense of normalcy, and I liked documenting what we were going through and everything that was happening. But just this last month I really didn't feel like I wanted to. Everything was all just a little bit too much, so I didn't. So if you're still here watching this one and haven't given up on us, thank you for your patience and thank you for supporting us as always. And I think that's it for this video, so we'll see you in the next one.